Hello everybody, welcome back. It's 2020. Yes, last week we had a pre-recorded show, but now this is our first show where we are officially back in 2020. And for those of you that have just joined us, welcome to 10 years of Cape Rugby TV. We're not going to jump too much on that right now. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come, but certainly a lot to celebrate. Of course, we have to thank our partners that are on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV, without whom it would not be possible. Direct Access, our financial services partners, Score Energy Drinks, of course, involved with Western Province Club Rugby and the Sevens, MCAM 24-hour Pharmacy, Yes Electrical, and Intercape, and of course Thorburn Security. Right, let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Jerome Parvater, welcome to 2020, man.
Yeah, JP, it's good to be back. New year again.
Yeah.
I trust that everybody, all the clubs, all the players is rested well, ready to go and have a great season, 2020, and it can just be better. Every year can just be better. So we trust that we will have a great rugby season this year. And I must say, after 10 years, you still look the same, JP.
After 10 years, I still look the same. Danny Jones, Mr. Jones, nice to have you back. Did you have a good festive break?
Yes, I did, JP. But we'll be back at work now,
Yep.
raring to go. Batteries are recharged. So yes, looking forward to a bumper 2020. I'm sure our club's already starting to get active.
Yeah.
And the Stormers are getting active. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening.
Jerome says looking forward to building on 2019, make it an even better year. Do you think you can make it a better year?
We have to, JP. We have to strive to improve annually. And so we're working to make this a better year than 2019.
But 2019 was a pretty good year. Put all the little things you read in the newspapers aside, 2019 was a good year. We saw great quality rugby. You had a lot of preseason rugby. Then you had a good season. We looked at that Super League B, which was so competitive. Durbell came out and won Super League A. You had the Sevens rugby tournament. All in all, there was a successful, I think you had more than 5,000 fixtures.
No, that's true, JP. And here we must compliment our clubs for not shying away from playing the game and getting involved, and of course the supporters and that. Speaking about the Sevens, Roscoe Seister has been given a 2-week stunt with the Blitzbokke Academy.
Oh,
So
really?
and that comes directly
good
out
news.
of our Sevens competition,
Yeah,
the Score
yeah,
Sevens.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good to look forward. Jerome is active with club players and the club program. We go back onto the club program for the regions after the 20th of January. But we have the Super League A, B, and C component that we're busy with now. So whilst we've been on
competition
holiday,
format-
but we've been going great guns.
Is the competition format the same as it was 2019?
The competition format is still the same. We signed for a 4-year period, so we're going into term 3 now of the 4-year period.
Oh, we're talking about club rugby now.
Yeah. club
So
rugby.
we'll again do the leagues. You'll seed them or draw them and start off Super League A, B, C, your promotion. Your divisional leagues, Northern City and Southern leagues, PAL region, and then after the first round, go into the promotion league process again, and then finish it at Newlands with your top 6 and your top 9 and so on.
That's right. That will be the same.
So it's pretty much the same format, and then
Yeah.
and then after that, probably again the Sevens rugby, and so
Yeah.
pretty much we're looking at the same.
The format, and as they say, the template remains the same for now.
Yeah. There's a few other extra activities though on the cards that the clubs themselves have some initiatives. You're talking about some Sevens rugby tournaments that are being held in the Boerland and up on the West Coast. So there's also a couple of other activities in addition to Easter weekend festivals, for example, that's on the cards. When do you think we'll sort of start to see that being formalized?
Well, I mean, obviously now it's the time of the clubs. They were sorting out their friendlies and all those things.
Yeah.
I know the only Easter weekend competition that we're aware of is the Saldanha Sevens in Saldanha. I know Kuil River is our representative there.
Right.
But we do have 1 or 2 other competitions that will take place. So obviously the clubs will forward applications for their competitions prior to the start of the league, which the league starts on the 1st of April. So yeah, from middle February to the end of March, the clubs will inform us about their competitions and all those things.
All right, folks, we've got a jam-packed show this evening. In addition to talking more about what's potentially on the Western Province Club Rugby calendar, we went out, as we know, many of the clubs at the moment are busy with their pre-season training. We went out to Durban to catch their pre-season, and of course Brackenfell as well, and we managed to catch up with some of the coaches there. We're still trying to get a grip on all of the clubs that are out there and who their coaches are. We haven't had all the formal announcement yet, but we're slowly starting to see things roll out onto the Facebook pages, and we're sharing some of those for you tonight. But as I said, we were out at Durban. We took a look there at the pre-season training, and we'll take a look at Brackenfell as well. And then we were out at the Stormers, the DHL Stormers pre-season training as well. John Dobson, coach of the DHL Stormers, of course, now fully into the swing of things. We speak there to Herschel Janchis and Damian Willemse. And Jerome, we're going to take a look at your Supersport Club to Supersport Challenge.
Yeah, we're busy. We're busy, JP, and we're playing. I think we're going to talk about this later, but we're playing Saturday. So all those club guys that we tested last year. So yeah, we're pretty much busy with them starting earlier this year.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about the event that's happening at Tygerberg this coming weekend. Fantastic to see it off out of the starting block so early in the year, and a lot of club rugby activity together with the DHL Stormers, and we'll talk about that a little bit later during the show. But for now, let's catch up with our first pre-season training video. The guys are there, hot out of the blocks. Durban, our current Super League 8 champions. Let's see what happened there behind the scenes. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. There we go, our first pre-season training session up out of the starting block, so to speak. Durban, Jerome, it's too early to tell, but the guys look like they're having fun out there on the side of the field. It's good to see the guys back in action.
Yeah, it's good to see. You can also see there's a few guys after last year put on a few kilos more. So it's good that they started. In yeah, I mean everybody's back in action on most of the clubs. Most of them will start next week.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that they start, and it's good to see that they start with the basics, handling and stuff. So yeah, it's the right time to do it now and start slowly and build it up.
Well, I was going to ask you now, I mean, in your opinion, what are the kind of things that the guys, we know that they came out of the sevens last year and even out of the league structures, they took about a 2-3 week break and straight away started with their off-season training. You know, guys were going to gym, and so now we call it, let's call it the pre-season training, pre-season before the 1st of April. Some of them have got Varsity Cup, we're waiting to find out what's happening with the Gold Cup. But we know that there's a lot of activity coming up, and some of them are already starting to plan some friendlies that are going to happen pretty soon. But in the pre-season training year, as a coach and as one of the senior coaches of Western Province, what would you recommend the guys are working on now?
I would say, JP, like as I said with Durban now, starting with the handling, in what we focus a lot on, or especially for clubs. I know rugby players like to work with the ball.
Yeah.
So it's better to start with the ball and play small-sided games, conditioning games, play sort of touch games, make it a fun element, and build the guys up before, and then slowly start picking up the running and the conditioning. But it's the right time now to start and do some conditioning games and just with the ball and running to get the guys in. Instead of trying to let the guys in the first day, let them run 10 hundreds and 20 200s and what the guys normally do. And then the next day they've got no players at the training session because guys are stiff. They can't get out of bed. So it's the right time to start with the ball and just slowly build it up.
So I think that maybe this is a great year for us to start your Jerome's 2-minute tips video, where we come out to the HPC and you give the clubs a 2-minute tip video that we show, okay guys, this is something you build into your pre-season training.
No, exactly. We can do that, and we must do that. We have a lot of that info and a lot of that drills that we can do, so we can share it with the clubs.
Looking forward to that. Danny, before we go now to the coaches and captains there, we're going to speak to Marius Air-via, of course, assistant coach at Durbel, and their lock, Stefan Porkeater, one of the players there. Danny, just from an administrative point of view now, if we understand what the guys are doing on the field there, the likes of what Jerome was just talking about, but of course behind the scenes you've got chairperson, and we saw a lot of elective processes happening last year, new chairpersons and secretaries and treasurers at clubs. But behind the scenes then, of course, you've got your players in front of the scenes and the coaches and that. But behind the scenes, there's a whole admin team also busy with preparing for 2020. And they've got to look at player registrations and fixtures that will be coming up and all that. What are the administrative things that you would be recommending for the clubs to be looking at now?
JP, whilst a number of clubs have new chairpersons and that, there's been quite a great stability with the bulk of clubs have kept their management teams as well as their executive teams. And what we find with regard to the match and registration secretary, and the person that does scrum it and those things, and the match commissioners, they remain fixed. And that gives a lot of stability to a club.
So what is important now for them to look at? Is it things like registering your players, updating your database, making sure your contact details are correct?
It's updating the database, making the contact details correct, informing us who's the new exco, giving us, and we'll do an addition. We want the names of all the coaches so that we can check the accreditations and all those things.
Should the clubs,
as you know, I think SASCOC has passed the law that coaches must now be licensed and registered.
Yeah.
I know for the last few years, the talk has been to license them, but I think it's starting to kick in now. Yeah. I must just find it, but I'm almost certain it kicks in now. So those are the things we want on the system, and then it's work as normal. Our clubs are quite schooled at on the administrative front, but we don't take things for granted. During the course of the year, we will be having a number of workshops. What about on this? With regard to running a club, where there are challenges in the club, exposing them to the club-wise program, which is an accredited program, NQF level 5, to assist them, with regard to the roles of a chairman, treasurer, and all those things.
Should the clubs be sending you by now, perhaps their calendar of events where they tell you what their plans are for the year? Maybe they have social events or they have some friendlies planned. They should surely be telling you when their AGM is.
It's a bit early. Most of them AGMs will probably have taken place last year. There will be a few new ones towards the end of February. But normally by the middle February, those starts kicking in with regard to activity plans, festivals, friendly games.
Yeah. That's fantastic, because I think the more information we have on what the clubs are busy, the more exposure we can give to those clubs. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll have a chat with Durbel's assistant coach Marius Air-via, as well as their lock at Durbel, Stefan Porkeater. Don't forget, don't go away. Still a lot of great competitions coming up. Stay tuned. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV 2020. Nice to have you along. Remember, if you are out there and you are busy with club rugby activities, share it with us on our Cape Rugby TV Facebook page and just use the hashtag #WP Club Rugby. Or, in fact, it's much easier if you just go straight to the Cape Rugby TV Facebook page. You'll see the address here at the bottom. Put it on our Facebook page so we can find your poster and we can share it. And you're more than welcome to add your little sponsor logos in there. Your sponsors will be very happy with you. We were out at Durban and we managed to catch up there with Durban's assistant coach, Marius Air-via. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy.
Ja, het is lekker om weer op die veld te wees. Ek bly ons veld lyk ook so mooi, so dit is 'n bonus. Maar het is lekker om weer met die ouens net te mingle en te sien wat se effort hulle ingesit het. Jy kan sien 'n paar van hulle het Desember hard gewerk, ander het 'n bietjie slap gelê, maar ons gaan dit vinnig uitsort so. Ja, kyk, Barry werk nogal goed daarso by Nosip, CrossFit. Die manne geniet dit. Hulle is altyd seer as hulle daar uitkom, maar hy help ook baie met kragoefeninge en flexibility en dit het verlede jaar gehelp want ons het so 2 jaar terug begin met dit en ek dink dit is ook een van die redes hoekom ons so goed gedoen het die laaste 2 jaar. So dit gaan nogal 'n tawwe een wees om sommer in 2 weke se tyd teen Maties te speel wat al redelik lank voorberei. Ja, dit was nou die eerste keer wat die ouens hierso geoefen het saam as 'n unit, baie nuwe gesigte, maar dit is lekker en dan die groep wat nou hier geoefen het is nou meestal van die eerste span ouens, maar daar's derde span ouens wat hier oefen, tweede span ouens wat hier is. Ons is 'n oop klub, so almal is welkom om te kom oefen, maar van volgende week af dink ek gaan meer mense wees en dan gaan die klub lekker oefen. So ons moet reg wees, né? Die spanne gaan vir ons kom. Ons weet nou, ons is ongelukkig. Die target dink ek in my oë want ons het bo geëindig, so elke span wil kom om ons te klop hierso, maar ons is reg vir die jaar. Koers bly dieselfde, so ek like it.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. There we go. Marius Air-via, assistant coach there at Durban. No stranger to Western Province Club Rugby. Jerome, is Durban going to be a feature this year?
Yes, Marius was saying now they're the #1 club in province. So the clubs are going to come out, so it's for them now to even work harder. And as you said, now also lucky for them, they've got the core of the players.
Yeah.
So so hopefully, but it's also good in provinces like the competition. So it's also good like it's not Marties or UCT or whatever. Maybe this year can be another guy. It makes it so interesting in province, so anything can happen. But at least they know that the teams are going to come out and get fired against them.
Danny, on your side, what do you think?
No, JP, I'm a member of all affiliated clubs. So as far as I'm concerned, they are all my teams. I support all of them, and whoever wins at the end, they get the extra 5% of my support.
Okay. There's the politically correct answer for you, folks. Mr. Jones is a member of all clubs. Well, I suppose that is the way to go. But there's no doubt, though, Danny, that the standard is going to be tough, like Jerome says. You know, you come out, you win the league, you've got a target on your back. People are knowing that you're going to you got to work hard, but we've also got to think about the fact that there are teams getting promoted into Super League A. It's going to be a challenging.
No, it is challenging. Look, as Jerome is right, and as the coach said, they will be the benchmark.
Yeah.
People will come out heavy on them. That's part of the nature of sport. I do believe that Marties and UCT, UWC, Tigerberg, and those won't take it lightly. Union Mill, and the fact that a non-university club won the competition would give the other non-university clubs a lot of energy, and focus to say if they can do it, we can do it. So I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think the pressure is on the coaches of Marties, because Marties have a belief that if #1, no other position. So they're going to come out firing. But this is Western Province.
Standards high.
This is Western Province Super League A.
Yeah.
You have to be able to
be
correct. As Peter de Villiers used to say, if you want to play in the big league, you must run with the big dogs.
Yeah, it was something like that. In fact, it's long overdue we get Peter de Villiers back on the show. Yeah, used to. Right, let's catch up there with Durban's lock, Stefan Porkeater. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy.
Ja, was great. Vakansie was lekker uitgerus, maar ek kan sien hoe lyk die manne Desember was lank, so is bly om weer hier te wees en 'n bietjie live in shape te kry. Ja nee, ek dink coaching staff en spelers gewys verloor ons nie veel nie. Ons gain baie nuwe manne. Nadat ons manne liga wen, dan kom die ouens maar uit die donker gate uit. So ons hoop die nuwe manne stiek, die ouens wat inkom, dat hulle in die system sal pas en dat hulle sal geniet soos al die ou manne hier. So hulle dit vir mense vreemd maak nie. Ja, great. Laas jaar ek meen met die Gold Cup wat tweede gekom het in die liga wen. Die mense het bietjie uitgekom en ek meen is lekker vir die dorpse mense om hulle eie spelers te kom support. Maar ons moet maar nog aanhou werk. Dis al hoe mense by te kry. Ek dink ons klub doen baie goed met moeite van jong ouens af. Ons het 'n groot onder 20 squad, 4des, 3des. So ons het dit nodig. Ek meen laas jaar se seisoen was klaar lank, was amper 23, 24 wedstryde en nou met die nuwe formaat van die Gold Cup gaan dit net nog langer raak. So ek dink ons bestuur doen goed om daai probleme op te los. Ja nee, ek dink die ouens se lywe en die longe is nog nie daar nie, maar die gees is daar. So 'n paar weke se harde werk dan sal ons daar wees.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Welcome back, folks. Yes, Durbel lock Stefan Porkeater. They're very positive about Durbel's chances this season. Jerome, how much of an attraction with Durbel winning Super League A last year? How much of an attraction would that be for players now? Are we seeing players move from club to club and looking to play at Durbel?
Yeah, it's always good to see JP, but you see some players that's like, I also don't like that. They one season here, the other season there, and it's not good.
It's not good for community
It's not
sport.
good for the community, and it's not good. It's not good for the player himself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what does he want? But if you want to really improve your rugby, it's always better to play with the best guys and to challenge yourself and to give you an opportunity. But I almost want to say, if you're opportunist, then you're not going to go anywhere. But if you want to really achieve something in rugby, because too many guys are moving this season they're there, the next season they're there, and they stay 1 kilometer away from a club, from the community. So I also don't encourage that. But if you really want to up your rugby, it's good to be with the best guys.
Play with the top guys. He mentioned, Danny, Stefan there mentioned the Gold Cup, which was originally the Community Cup. Gold Cup is, of course, is the Gold Cup happening this year?
JP, my understanding with the last engagement with SA Rugby is that at present there isn't a sponsor, so there won't be a Gold Cup.
Right.
Until they find a sponsor, then the Gold Cup will come in. But at present, in the last SARU meeting which I attended, there was no sponsor. And on the budget of SARU for 2020, there wasn't a sponsor for the Gold Cup. So my understanding is that there won't be a Gold Cup until the sponsor has been secured.
Yeah. That of course creates an opportunity for clubs to have more pre-season friendlies, which is great for club rugby locally.
It does, JP. We are working we are looking at the possibility of a competition between Western Province, SVD and Boland.
A club competition. Yeah.
Definitely for 2021, but we're trying to maybe get it for 2020. I will be engaging with my colleagues of the two provinces around going forward. We had agreed in principle that we need to have a Western Cape competition.
Yeah.
And it's good for rugby, it's good for relationships between Boland, Western Province and SVD.
Yeah.
So we will be working on that. It gives us that opportunity now to work on those things.
The Varsity Cup itself continues. Of course, that'll be kicking off pretty soon. But I suppose one of the big things that we're looking for this year is a good result for CPUT. If they get a good result here, you could end up next year with 4 universities in the Varsity Cup.
Well, that has always been Jerome and my focus, was to get 4 Western Province universities in the Varsity Cup.
That's all your universities. You got them
all our universities, yes. But it's going to be hard work and tough. We know that CPUT had a great season last year, and well done to them, but everything counts this year.
Yeah.
So they will have to put in everything. And also this year is promotion relegation. So Marties, UWC and UCT will have to pull out all stops not to be part of the promotion relegation component. And obviously we would want to have CPUT in the promotion.
In the promotion space.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to that. If the CPUT have a season like they had last year, then they will be in the mix at the end of this year. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what happened out at Brackenfell. They had their pre-season training, as well as many other clubs, of course, busy with pre-season at the moment. Stick around, still some competitions up for up on the go, including that Score energy drinks competition. So make sure you don't go away. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV time. Welcome back to 2020. As you know, we take a look at what is happening in the world of Western North Club Rugby. Just a reminder, share your activities on our Cape Rugby TV Facebook page. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Cape Rugby TV. We were out at Brackenfell during this week, where we managed to catch up with some of the behind-the-scenes training. We also spoke to their assistant coach, Maxie Stoffels, as well as their fly-off at Brackenfell, Jandre Kleinans. But let's take a look first what's happening behind the scenes there. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Hi, welcome back, folks. Brackenfell pre-season training underway. We'll still be following a few clubs this year with their pre-season training. In fact, if you've got something exciting happening at your club and you want us to come out to your pre-season training, let us know. Let us know. Send us a message on our Cape Rugby TV Facebook page, and we'll see if we can come your side. Of course, a lot of clubs out there. We won't be able to get to everybody, but we're going to do our very best. Jerome, Brackenfell ended up 7 on the log last year. They started off really well. They've competitive side, just didn't make it into the top 6. Can they turn their fortune around this year?
Look, I think they can, because they sort of they've been in Super A now for quite a while, and they keep on pushing. Yeah. They always start on fire, but towards the middle of the season, they must just get that mix right, and they start to slow down. Or I don't know if it's because of their squad, maybe their depth isn't good enough, but they have to look at that towards the end. Yep. They underperform. But it's good to see what they were doing, JP, and all the coaches are involved. They've got stations, exactly what I said, so they've got stations. So it's also good for the coaches now, especially the head coach. Involve every coach that's there, even if it's your 4th team coach, because you're going to sit with 60 players. Give each guy a station, so you work 5 minutes, you rotate, you work 5 minutes, so everybody works, so nobody's standing still. So it's good to see what they were doing.
Yeah. Danny, but of course the secret to getting a lot of players out at your club right now is having an effective communication strategy at your club. You must have your players' names and their contact details, and you must be able to invite them to practice and send them messages. Absolutely critical to have the administrative component in place.
Definitely, JP. And we have given them the tool or the tools. Scrummet has all those facilities on the system. And those clubs who are proactive, they say the early bird catches the early worm. Though they will be able to draw on getting players into their club. But if you're going to wait and have your first club meeting with the players in February, it's too late.
Too late.
Definitely.
Too late. Should have started speaking last year already.
100%. You know, our clubs are very fluid. So in the sense that, and players are not necessarily as loyal as what we would like them to be. So somebody whispering in somebody's ear around, come play for us, these things happen.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to go and speak to your players to say they need to play for you and you need to keep them active and have a relationship with them, they move.
But isn't that also maybe another reason why that calendar of events is so important, that you can show what sort of activities you've got at your club, all the exciting things that you're going to have at your club. Take away the money aspect now where everybody's worrying about how much you're going to pay a player. You've got to show that your club is active, the doors are open, you're having fun, there's friends and family and the social activities happening, and there's braaivleisers, and you've got to show that kind of stuff if you want to attract players.
100%, JP. That's the most important component, is to show players the
value add.
The value add and the feeling of home and family.
Home and family, and that's what we're... Anyway, let's move right along. Brackenfell Fly-Off, Jean-Ray Kleinert spoke to us at the pre-season training. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy.
Ja, dit is die eerste oefening, ons het nou teruggekom. So ons het gedink eers ons by ons op die veld wees, maar ons 'n goeie aand uitgedraai. So maar 'n bietjie die vakansiefekkies kom afskud en reg geraak vir die eerste Preseason game wat kom. Ja, ons is laas jaar was ons baie hartseer dat op die einde kom. Ons het ek dink 5 games verloor met minder as 5 punte en toe eindig ons 7de. So dis 'n slegte eindresultaat vir ons, maar ons doen ook goed. Elke jaar skuif ons op en ons skuif op. So hierdie jaar sal ons daar bou en ons sal hard werk vir die top 6 hierdie jaar. Vanaand ons nog, jy weet maar hierdie klomp ouens wat hier is, daar's 5 van die ouens wat nog by WP oefen vanaand. So wat nie kan wees, so baie van die core van die eerste span ouens wat nog eers vanaand hier is, wat nog moet inval. So daai ouens oefen al heel vakansie lank, so hulle behoort op 'n goeie noot terug te kom. Sien jy is vanaand klaar, 'n paar ouetjies wat hopeloos te veel rondhardloop. So mense raak moeg hierso, maar ja, dis goed. Dit is altyd lekker ouens, jong ouetjies, 'n klomp van hulle 20's wat saam kom oefen het. En hulle het gisteraand op die maandag aand ook geoefen, so dis baie great vir die klub hoe dit groei. Ja, ons sal definitief reg wees. Ons sal hard werk daarvoor. Ons het so 'n maand, ons dink ons speel al proewe die 15de Februarie. En dan die 29de Februarie as eerste liga game teen opwarmingsgame teen Durbanville.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Players in action, all smiling and happy to be playing rugby. I think that's absolutely great. This is what the guys are looking for. Folks, we are going to be catching up with the Stormers in a second at their pre-season training, where we, of course, speak to Herschel Jantjes and Damian Willemse, and we'll talk a little bit about the Stormers and their activity, as well as the activities happening at Tygerberg this coming weekend. But then just a reminder for you, Score in the background. You know that Score is on board with Western Province Club Rugby and their Sevens competition. If you want to win yourself a case of Score, grab your mobile phone now. Grab your cell phone and just SMS the word SCORE to 33090. Congratulations to last week's winner, Hazel Priest. Hazel, somebody from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly, and you will get your case of Score energy drinks. So just a reminder, 33090. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33090, and you go in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, it's time to take a look at the DHL Stormers. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV time. Just a reminder, find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Share your posters, share your activities. It's the only way one of the best ways for us to find it, and we can then publicize your activities that you've got at your club. Remember, you can put your little sponsors in there and give them some extra exposure. Once again, here you see on the screen underneath me here the URL, the Facebook page name. The DHL Stormers are back in action. Well, in fact, they've been back in action for a while now. They started their pre-season training shortly after the Currie Cup last year. The Currie Cup guys were training. We managed to catch up with some of the guys at the High Performance Centre in Bellville. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. The DHL Stormers are back in action. We're looking forward to a fantastic season. We're going to speak to Damian Willems and Herschel Jantjes in a second. Jerome, Stormers are back. High Performance Centre. You've got Sia Khaleesi and Peter Steftetui. Your Springboks are back in action. And the guys look like they're having a lot of fun. John Dobson is there. You've got a new coach. Surely we're going to have a fantastic 2020 season.
No, we will have JP. I mean, with the amount of Stormers we have, and we have the captain, so we can't go wrong. So we're looking forward.
You mean with the amount of Springboks we have?
Amount of Springboks we have, and we have the captain. So we have everything, and a great mix-up between youth and older guys. And I'm looking forward to see what the guys will do in the first game.
Yeah, Danny, on your side, I mean, it's very exciting. First game is, I think, the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes 1st of February.
Yeah.
Now we are expecting great performance. We have the pack that won the World Cup.
Yeah.
So we want to bring the World Cup.
The pack. Yeah. Who are we talking about here? Stephen Kitsoff, Volko Low,
Bongi, Frans
Malherbe.
The starting front row.
Peter Stef.
The starting front
row of the World Cup.
Correct.
Yeah.
Peter Stef. In Sia.
And Sia Khaleesi. You've got the World Cup captain at the in Cape Town. I mean, it's surely everybody is still on Sia fever. Everybody wants to see him. Has life changed for him?
It has, JP, definitely. Look, Sia is a great leader, and winning the World Cup has just capitulated him into stardom, yes. Yeah. But I think he's a level-headed guy. He knows where he comes from humble beginnings. And he knows he has to work hard. So, and he knows there's expectations on them. So we are hoping that the experience that they bring from the World Cup, that those experiences will be utilized this year for the Stormers, and then we can also have a great season.
It's fantastic for me. I mean, we're all part of this. You know, we see these kids growing up in front of us, and we come through the ranks together from institutes to under 21s, and coming through the ranks, and all of a sudden into stardom. And they're still our friends, our daily friends, and we have other people are getting autographs signed. I think it's really great. I really am so. And Jerome, you also got your hand-picked Herschel Jantjes there.
Yeah, well, the story about Sia, Labib Levy told me now at the camp in the wilderness when they were in camp there. So there were two guys.
Is this a story you're allowed to tell?
Yeah. So there were two guys. He was walking with Sia in the street there. So there were two guys like guys that's like they just live on the street. You think like so. So they came up and they saw Sia and they ran to Sia, and they said, "Take a photo."
Yeah.
But they didn't have a phone. So they said to Labib, "Take a photo from your phone."
Yeah.
But they just want the photo.
No, we get that. We get that. I think it's fantastic. I think we're going to have a great time, folks. And look out, of course, for a couple of tickets that you can potentially win to go and watch the DHL Stormers play at Newlands. And as you know, this will be your final opportunity this year to go and watch rugby at Newlands. So a lot of exciting things happening in Western Province rugby. But talking about Herschel Giantjes, we did manage to catch up with him on the side of the field. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy.
Ja, het is altijd lekker om terug bij de huis te wees. Het is lekker om weer aan die kamp te wees en bietjie te graaf met die ouens. Lekker vakansie gehad, maar nou is weer terug in dinge en kan nie wag vir die seisoen om te begin nie. Was my eerste volle season met die Stormers. Ek het een game gemis en ek dink die hele jaar was vir my 'n blessing geweest, maar obviously ek kon dit nie doen sonder my teammates wat my geback het en al die coaches aan wie ek gewerk het nie. Hulle maak net dinge vir my makliker. En soos ek gesê het, ek is nog meer excited vir die jaar wat kom in die seisoen wat voor lê. 100%, ek dink almal sê dit seker maar ek dink ons het 'n goeie balance. Goeie jong ouens wat deurkom en dan ook baie van die ouens wat oorgebly het. Ek dink ons het 'n goeie blend in dit. En ek dink ons kan met die groep wat ons het, kan ons 'n goeie brand of rugby speel. En hopelik kan ons dit 'n suksesvolle jaar maak vir die Stormers en die mense van die Kaap. Ja, baie excited. Eerste game teen die Hurricanes op Nieuweland. Is ons laaste seisoen op Nieuweland. So ek verwag die boys gaan all out gaan. En soos ek gesê het, ek dink die boys is reg, mentally is ons reg om die jaar vir onsself en vir die mense van die Kaap 'n goeie spektakel te gee en dit 'n suksesvolle jaar vir ons almal te maak.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Herschel Giantjes there talking to us. How incredible that is from a World Cup perspective. Jerome, is he bringing some of this World Cup energy that he had in the World Cup? Is he bringing that into the game now?
Yeah, look, Herschel always, he's a ball of energy, always, and he's still the same. And I just think that I spoke to him on Monday, and he said, I asked him how he feels. He said, no, he's in perfect nick. He's just looking forward for a great season and just to build on last year's performance. So he's looking good, and we're also fortunate, Mr. Jones, because we have Herschel and we have Damien. So we have 9 and 10 also.
Yeah.
So
and they both went to the same school. They come from the same background.
Yeah.
So Danny, I mean, just from a club rugby perspective, which is obviously what we focus on the show, is you've got 2 guys here from Cape Town, both local players. This must really be good for club rugby, that we're seeing some guys who actually came through the club rugby ranks.
No, yes, JP. I mean, Herschel comes from Kaimo and Damien from Helderberg, from Strand. So, and they went to good schools, and obviously they played for Paul Roos and Western Province, and the rest is history. And the 2 of them are extremely talented, and as I say, they are players that they're not players, they are exceptional players, but they are persons who walk in our communities.
But that's the whole point. So this is the thing that we've been missing for so long. You know, when you see a professional player, maybe not in Western Province, because we've actually managed to build that link. We spent 10 years building the bridge between professional and amateur, and that there is now finally a connection. You know, that you can understand that we're all wearing the same dizer. But isn't that the great thing, that you can have a conversation with a player that will actually be able to tell you where's the club, who plays at the club, who was the former chairman, and you know, the whole connection. That's really what it's about.
Look, we've always worked on a belief, school to club to province. You know, that's been our philosophy, and we're starting to pick the fruits of those programs that we put in place.
I love being able to talk to the players on the side of the field, the professional players I'm talking about now, and that they actually know what Cape Rugby TV is, they know what Western Province Club Rugby is, they know what Super League A and Super League B and all these kind of dynamics. I think that's fantastic. Anyway, we are going to be getting Herschel Giantjes and Damien Willems on the show at some other stage. Am I right, Mr. Jones?
No problem, JP.
100%. That's what we like. But in the meantime, we'll catch them on the side of the field. Let's catch up now with Damien Willems. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy.
Yeah, obviously it's great to be back with the boys, back at training. Obviously after the break now, we had a little camp at Wilderness, so yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, very excited for them, very excited for us. A lot of young guys coming in, but saying that we've also got a solid core team with Sia, Frans Malherbe, all of the Springboks, and then myself and Herschel, obviously getting that experience now with the Springboks as well. So we've got the core group, and then we've got the very exciting young players coming through as well, which is great for us. I think it's a new development for them as well, and yeah, I think they'll bring a lot of spark to our team this year. We're really excited to be back at Newlands and play in front of our home crowds. Obviously we've learned a lot with the World Cup now, and there's going to be a big responsibility on all of the Springboks and the Stormers team as well to deliver this year and bring results back home. So yeah, we're really excited to play on Newlands. Obviously it's going to be the last year on Newlands, which is going to be a special occasion, and yeah, we're working really hard to ensure that we get the right results and just keep winning and just be consistent with our game. So yeah, really excited, but yet a big responsibility. We are preparing as best as we can, and all the boys are really excited to play rugby again. When we got in yesterday, everyone was just really excited and so happy to see each other. So yeah, we're really excited for the game on Newlands. Obviously it's going to be the first one, and hopefully we can get off to the best start.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Right, there we go. Welcome back, Cape Rugby TV time 2020. Reminder, put all your info on our Facebook page. You can do a search on Facebook. Just find the Cape Rugby TV Facebook page and pop it on there. Also, our Instagram handle. Look out there for @Cape Rugby TV. Send us your stories. We want to be able to reshare your pictures on Instagram. Make you famous. Sort of make you famous. Jerome, you got an Instagram page? No, you don't. Let's just move straight along to the Super Sport Challenge. Coming up this weekend at Tygerberg. It's a full ball of activity already. Tell us about it.
Yeah, JP, I was just thinking now, if you tell an ex-player, a guy who played 20, 25 years ago rugby, tell him that you're playing on the 11th of January, your first rugby game, they would die. That time the guys are still on holiday, drinking beer, eating.
Times have changed.
Yeah, but it's changed. Yeah, so we're busy. We start on Saturday. We've got this varsity cup day where all the universities are playing against. We've got a Super Sport Club to Super Sport Challenge team.
Yeah.
UCT, Marties, CPUT, the Stormers. We're playing. Unfortunately, UWC was going to play, but they withdrew. So at Tygerberg,